This broadcast brought to you by 106th Street Tire and Wheel. Get your automotive stuff done at 106th Street Tire and Wheel, located in Corona, New York, 11368. We are officially live here at True to New York Sports Studios, featuring Billy the Knowledge Punch Up and Lou DiMartino. Guys, before we start anything, Aaron Judge just hit his number 62 home run of the season, being the AL American single season home run record of all time. Billy, I know this is a football show, I know, but you can't not mention that Aaron Judge just broke the record. Am I right? Come on, bro.
Absolutely. It's done. We're going to leave it at this. Now go win a Triple Crown and a World Championship.
I agree.
Luke, it's time to get into it. It's time to get right into the football. And there's no bigger story to start this off with than the Tua Tagovailoa situation that is going on now in the NFL. Yeah, I got tongue-tied there for a second.
Mm-hmm.
He's already been ruled out for Week 5 against the Jets. Today, he was scheduled to speak with the investigators for the NFL and NFL Players Association regarding what went on, allowing him to go back on the field in that Week 3 game against Buffalo, when it clearly looked like he didn't belong back out there. There is now a doctor out there saying that he should retire. The guy that remember the movie Concussion that came out a couple of years ago with Will Smith? The doctor that was based on is now saying that Tua had a form of a seizure on the field and that was the reason his hands went all crooked and his fingers were all stuck and everything else. And he's saying that Tua should never play again.
Wow. Yeah, that's pretty wild.
I mean, it's insane at what's going on right there. There's now already the NFL and the NFLPA is putting a clause into the concussion policy stating that if someone demonstrates mobility issues like Tua did when he was getting up off the field in that first half against Buffalo, that they will not be allowed back in the game no matter what the concussion protocol says. The doctor that cleared him, the neurosurgeon that cleared him, that was put there by the NFL and the NFLPA, has already been fired.
Yeah, good.
This is nuts. And I'm going to say it, and it's something that I haven't seen a lot of, but it's something that I can't help think. Is a lot of the doubt that's going on here due to the terrible name of Stephen Ross and the Dolphins organization? After the Brian Flores incident with supposedly paying Flores to lose games, after the whole Tom Brady, Sean Payton deal that they tried to work out to get both of them there, offering them ownership and everything else, everybody called the Miami Dolphins season 2 years ago tank for Tua. This organization has a terrible name, and it is definitely not helping them in this right now. I don't believe, personally, I'm going to be shocked if I find out they really did this kid dirty, because I don't see it. That means you had a neurosurgeon in on it. That means you risked his life. I don't think they did anything like that. But
Billy, I think it's more of a, I think it's more of a, they fucked up. They fucked up. And like you said, they're have been a joke of an organization, and they had the wrong people involved in that. Because here's my thing. The Miami Dolphins were 3-0 before that game, right? And yeah, you want to see the Miami Dolphins win. But I don't think there's a scene. I don't think there's a situation where Tua was put into that game purposely because they wanted to make sure that they tried to win against the Bengals. I think it was just poor evaluation for Tua's part, and they put him back. And it's just the organization as being a joke. I don't think it's. You know what I mean?
The mistake that I feel that they made was they didn't save the player from himself. I believe Tua orchestrated himself getting back in that game the same way we saw Daniel Jones try to get himself back in the game Sunday against the Bears after his ankle injury. He tried to get in there. If Tyrod Taylor didn't get hurt, Brian Dable had no intention of letting Daniel Jones back on that field.
Right. Right.
They
No,
should have done. Miami should have done the same thing, and
well,
they didn't.
but the
That is-
difference still, Billy, is that it was a head injury compared to an ankle injury.
I'm talking. I am not talking what injury was what. What I'm saying is saving the player from themselves.
Oh yeah, of course.
That's what I'm saying. I am not
Right.
comparing the two injuries whatsoever. They are night and day. The fact is that the Dolphins organization should have saved the player from himself, and they didn't do that. I believe that Tua going back on that field and Tua telling them he felt okay to play last Thursday, I believe Tua did that.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that too.
I believe the Dolphins organization should have been smart.
Yeah, well, 100%, and that's what I was just getting at is that's just the upstairs being absolutely stupid. Your franchise quarterback it gets a head injury, and of course he's going to say he wants to go back out there. Any competitive quarterback, any competitive player is going to want to play no matter what. So of course they're going to say, "Yeah, I feel good," even if they don't feel 100%. We got to remember, as these kids are young kids, they feel invincible going out there, Billy. It's one of those things where it's like he just wanted to play, and he doesn't know any better because that's what he's put on the field for. He doesn't know. He was all shooken up for all we know. It's like, yeah, I'm good, when he's not. You know what I mean? Like it's one of those situations, and
exactly. And another big question you got to ask yourself, and no, it's definitely not all his fault. Is a first-time head coach overwhelmed and underqualified to make that decision on his own in the spur of the moment? Because ultimately, at that point in the game, that situation was the coach's to make. And if somebody upstairs had a problem with it, a phone call would have been made down, get him out of there now. And it wasn't. They left it on the rookie head coach to make that call. And the rookie head coach listened to a doctor that said he was fine and a player that wanted to go back on the field. And that's where he made that mistake. And I think if he had it to do over again, he definitely wouldn't do it. And Chet, no, he's not underqualified as a coach. As we've seen so far, as his coaching ability, he is very well qualified as a coach. The problem is when it comes down to decisions like that, you look at a guy like Brian Daboll, who would have fought Daniel Jones before he let him back on that field Sunday, as compared to what happened in Miami, where they let Tua call the shots.
Right. And not for nothing, I understand him wanting to get back into the game, but it's not like you have a garbage backup quarterback either. Like Teddy Bridgewater could have just played the rest of that game to make sure that he was okay. And worst comes to worst, you're 3-1. Like it's no big deal. Like it's like obviously health comes first, and now look what could possibly happen to Tua. Like you said, they're talking about how Tua shouldn't be playing ever again. Like that's crazy to me.
Like I said, I think you're always gonna have the people, the concussion studyists and those type of people. They're always gonna err on the side of caution. I don't say they're wrong, but those guys are always going to say that.
Right.
I don't believe this is the last we've seen of Tua, unless again there's more information that we might not know about, and Lord only knows what's going to come out of this investigation. I believe as we sit here today, and the information we know today, I believe Tua will be back will be back maybe in a couple of weeks, maybe not the rest of the season, but I believe he'll be back.
Right. And I hope so too. I
hope he is too. If that's what he wants.
Right. And first of all these, how about them Cowboys? Calm down. You beat the Giants, who are an okay football team, and you beat the Commanders. Grats. Great.
What? Lou, any one of these Cowboy fans that want to say anything right now, they have every right. Nobody in the world thought they were going 3-0 with Cooper Rush.
No.
Nobody. Not one of us sitting here. I said in week 1 of this show, the Cowboys would be in last place when Dak came back. I was wrong. I'll admit it. They have every right to be happy. But you know what? We have every right to be happy too, because the Giants went out there and the Giants pulled out a game, an old school Giant football game. They were out there in the slop, in the rain, in terrible weather, and they went out there and came out with a win. Danny Jones got hurt. We don't know. The biggest thing right now is we don't know who's playing quarterback for us Sunday.
Right.
The one person we know it's not is Tyrod Taylor.
And the other person we know it's not is Mike Lennon.
Oh, yeah. Well, no, he's long. Mike Lennon's long gone. But Taylor's out with a concussion. I mean, he went in there. He played with a ton of guts. Yes, Pete. If Daniel Jones is out, it's going to be Davis Webb. We know that already. Yeah. But he went out there with a ton of guts, Taylor. What he did was stupid. Yeah. He was 3 yards past the first down marker. He should have went down. Yep. Quarterbacks know, especially a veteran quarterback like Taylor, they know to go down. And he didn't do it, and now he's hurt, and we don't know when he's going to be back. Jones, I don't know. It sounds like he's not going to play. He's not giving up hope yet, though.
Right.
He was out there today. I heard an interview he did today. He said he's optimistic. I don't know how good his optimism. I mean, to me, he doesn't get on a plane to London if he doesn't have a chance to play. That's a good sign. So if you see him get on that plane Thursday night, I believe he's got a good chance to play, unless he's ruled out before that happens, which from all indications of what I'm seeing, I don't see that that's going to be the case. I think it's going to come down to where a decision's not going to be made till Saturday. And again, I think if he gets on that plane, I think he's got a fair shot to play. I know they worked out a couple of quarterbacks today. A.J. McCarron, Jake Fromm, and a couple other guys were in there today. But Lou, there were two guys in the Giants building yesterday. Two guys from the Giants passed. Landon Collins and Odell Beckham Jr.
Yep.
Now, from what we heard, Odell Beckham Jr. wasn't there on an official visit. He was there visiting friends. Him just being there that's news.
That is news.
That wide receiver room can definitely use Odell Beckham Jr. No question about it.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's going to be ready to play a game till late November. By the time he hasn't even been cleared to run routes or do any cutting or anything yet. So he's a while away. Landon Collins is an interesting one to me. The secondary needs help. He could be a hybrid safety linebacker.
Sure.
You're not looking for Landon Collins, the guy you drafted. You're looking for Landon Collins as a role player. I don't think it's a bad move. And I for one, wouldn't mind seeing it happen.
Billy, I wouldn't mind it either. He can kind of be like the Blake Martinez of the Giants last year before Blake Martinez got hurt. You know, he plays a mediocre role, but kind of guides the young secondary that we have into molding them into a better defense. I would not be opposed to Landon Collins, and not for nothing, I wouldn't be opposed to OBJ either. I mean, Billy, here's the thing with the Giants, real quick, is that the one thing that worries me about this Giants team is that on Sunday, Daniel Jones threw only 13 passes. Yeah, he was out of the game for a little bit, but he only threw 13 passes for 71 yards. And the only reason why they scored any games was because of the run game, and they scored any points was because of their run game. So what's scaring me is that as of right now, the Giants only really have running game. And, we signed Kenny Golladay, which is going to be one of the biggest busts ever. The guy still doesn't have a touchdown the 2 years he's been here.
All right, hold on 1 second. We're going to take still. The difference between now and then is there is a coach there that will not allow Odell Beckham to be a cancer. Where the last two coaches had last three actually, because you could throw McAdoo in there as well. The last three coaches had no clue how to control a guy like that. Daboll, Joe Shane, that's not going to be tolerated there. This is the closest to the Tom Coughlin locker room that you've seen since Tom Coughlin was gone. And Odell Beckham was fine with Tom Coughlin.
Right. Agreed.
That is the difference as to why you can bring Odell Beckham in here now and you couldn't have him here a year or two ago. That is the big difference.
Joe Judge had no balls. McAdoo had no balls. You couldn't control these guys. Couldn't control. And OBJ, not for nothing, since he won the Super Bowl, he seems like a totally different person in media and everything now too. Since he went to the Rams, I want to say.
It doesn't matter. I'll play the game of everyone that wants to say, oh, last year, that the difference is the coaching staff. And that is the biggest thing.
Yeah. Joe Judge sucked. There's a reason why it sucked.
The difference is the coaching staff. As far as you're concerned, I have the Giants' game plan for that. He dropped back. He threw 13 passes. It's not like he didn't go 8 for 22. That was the game plan in the sloppy weather, and it worked out well. I mean, between Jones and Barkley combined, they ran for over 200 yards. Jones ran for 68 and 2 touchdowns. Barkley ran for 146. They went out. So the Giants went out there and basically had 300 yards of total offense and won a football game on an ugly day. That's what they're supposed to do. They went out and found a way to win. I came on here last week and I said, my issue with Daniel Jones is when mistakes are made and things are wrong, we're always talking about Daniel Jones losing because of this. This week, for the first time that I can remember, Daniel Jones went out there and won a game in spite of the weather, in spite of the
bad O-line.
In spite of the bad. You can't even say the O-line was bad when you ran for 200 yards, Lou. I mean, you can't.
He's rushed a lot, though. You got to admit, Daniel Jones is rushed a lot. He's rushed a lot.
Oh, yeah. But they're getting better. The O-line is getting better. The healthier they are. I mean, and you got to remember, too, how much do you want him throwing to the receivers that we currently have? I mean, one of the biggest hopes now is I'm waiting for the injury report tomorrow, hoping that we get Kadarius Toney and Wendell Robinson back for Sunday.
Yeah.
Because we need receivers.
Yeah, because Sterling Shepard's dead.
Sterling Shepard's done for another year, probably done as a Giant. I think Galladay is actually going to be on the injury report this week with some type of knee or leg injury that he has.
Yeah, Louis, shut up, Louis. Shut up, Louis. It was Turf Monster got him that one time, and he scored a touchdown on the following drive. All right, on the following play. So let's people tend to forget about that.
The one thing I will say about the Giant offense needs to start quicker. They can't keep starting every game in a hole and expect to get out of it. Because you know what? This week, the next 2 weeks, the Giants are moving up in weight class. Green Bay, then Baltimore.
Yeah.
Those are they're not playing the Chicago Bears anymore. They're not playing Cooper Rush anymore. They're playing Aaron Rodgers and Lamar Jackson.
Yeah. Right. Very true. Very true.
And then there's the other quarterback in New York.
Zach Wilson.
The king of the giddy. The mama banging Zach. My man caught a touchdown and pulled out the giddy. I mean, come on.
He did.
That was incredible. I mean, Zach Wilson was 18 of 36, 252 yards, a touchdown. The 2 interceptions were bad. But Zach Wilson, it's like a switch flipped in this kid's head in the fourth quarter. And he went out there and won a football game in the fourth quarter by playing probably the best we've seen in the year plus now of Zach Wilson. We saw everything the coaches see in practice out of him. Because the coaches, you see, nobody has a bad word to say about Zach Wilson.
No,
there's nobody. Yeah.
Listen, this one thing I got to say is that the Jets looked like a totally different team with him compared to Joe Flacco. And I mean, I'm not trying to shit on Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco, 37, 38 years old, can't really move around a lot. But I'll give Joe Flacco a little bit of credit. He had 300 yards every single game that he played. I'll give him that. But the team looks like a totally different team with Zach Wilson there. And you know what? We're going to talk about this later. Pittsburgh looked awful the entire game. They looked awful the entire game.
They got a little life when they brought Kenny Pickett in. Right. I mean, Kenny Pickett, the interceptions, I'm not gonna I'm not going to put on him. I think none of them should have been on him. You had 2 balls that were bobbled, deflected. Then you had the Hail Mary at the end of the game. I mean, Kenny Pickett's going to be good.
Yeah.
And George Pickens is damn good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to take some time in Pittsburgh, but Pittsburgh's going to be okay. The Jets were the better football team. And another thing we saw out of the Jets on Sunday, Breece Hall.
Yeah.
Now, we got to see on Sunday what the hype has been all summer on Breece Hall. 17 of 6 for 69 yards, a touchdown, 2 more receptions, another 12 yards. The Jets have a new lead dog in the backfield, and it's Breece Hall.
Yeah. And you could tell he played a lot more in the back, a lot more receptions than Michael Carter Jr. And I'm not trying to shit on Michael Carter Jr. because he's a hell of a football player, but he'll be a good number 2. But Breece Hall is definitely the number 1.
Yes,
in New York.
I mean, I think Carter had 5. I think Carter had 5 carries to Breece's 17. I mean, this kid is what everybody, what every expert, what every analyst has been saying all preseason long, that Breece Hall was the real deal. And the Corey Davis, we've been talking for weeks. Garrett Wilson, Elijah Moore. Zach Wilson gets back on the field, and Corey Davis is relevant again with 5 receptions for 74 yards and a touchdown.
Right.
I mean, these guys, the Jet offense, I've said this for a while. The Jet offense is not as bad as people think it is. Tyler Conklin is a damn good tight end.
He's good.
They have 3 to 4 very good starting caliber NFL wide receivers.
Yep.
They have 2 very good running backs. If Zach Wilson continues to improve, they are going to be a good team. And I'll jump the gun right now for a second. I expect the Jets to beat the Dolphins this Sunday. I expect Zach Wilson to beat Teddy Bridgewater. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. And they're playing in Miami, or are they playing home?
In Miami.
They're playing in Miami. Yeah. I mean, listen, the only thing that I will say is that Teddy Bridgewater, you remember how Teddy Bridgewater got signed to the deal in New Orleans? It's because after he was Minnesota's number 1 and he came off the bench somewhere else, he signed to a big deal because of what his potential was. We're as Jet fans, hopefully you don't see that Teddy Bridgewater who was benched and needs to prove himself again because he's in that situation again.
I stand corrected. That game is in MetLife Stadium.
Oh, it's in MetLife. Okay.
So even more of a reason why I say Zach Wilson is going to beat.
And Luke, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, though. I'm saying that with Teddy Bridgewater, it's going to be a hell of a game. I'm telling you, don't sleep on Teddy Bridgewater off the bench. He gets pumped up off the bench. I really don't.
I'm not sleeping on him. I'm going with who I believe is the better quarterback. Right. And I believe the better quarterback, Zach Wilson.
Pete, what are you talking about? The Jets got the sauce. The Jets got the sauce.
How about this? Here is the perfect game to put Sauce Gardner on Tyreek Hill because you don't have Tua's deep ball anymore.
Right.
So now see what happens there.
The sauce.
Oh, okay. It won't matter.
It won't matter.
There you go, guys. You heard it here first. Tyreek Hill, 2 receptions, 10 yards on Sunday.
Okay, yeah, right, right.
Yeah.
Tyreek Hill, 2 for 6, 13 yards, and a fumble.
There you go. Because
Pete opened his mouth.
He should have been Rex's defensive coordinator back in the day. They could have been the Oompa Loompa twins.
Oh, man, that's funny shit.
The 2 of them. All right, let's get into the rest of week 4. Everything we saw out there in week 4 of the NFL. We saw it Thursday night. We started off the Bengals beating Tua and the Dolphins. And to me, the Bengals offense is continuing to improve. Yeah. That's really all I could say. We know their defense can play. They're continuing to get better. And they're going to find their stride. They're going to find their stride in Cincinnati. They're going to keep rolling.
Right. Billy, the one thing I will say about week 4 takeaways, if anybody watched the show a few weeks ago, Mr. Billy Punch here said that the Detroit Lions were going to the playoffs. Billy, your Detroit Lions gave up 48 points to the Seattle Seahawks, brother. You guys are 1-3 now. What is going on with your team? I thought they were motivated, and according to the HBO documentary.
They are. I mean, look how many points they continue to score, though. Again,
they score a lot.
They fight through the whole game.
Right.
They never stop fighting.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, somehow Geno Smith looks like a friggin' MVP candidate. I don't know where this came from. The thing that blows my mind in Seattle is they've opened up the offense more with Geno Smith as the quarterback than they ever did
with Russell
Wilson.
100%.
So I don't know what that tells you about Russell Wilson. And we could keep this going into that game too, because Russell Wilson looks terrible. Russell Wilson looks like he's taking a step back. But does Pete Carroll know something that we don't? Does Pete Carroll telling us right now he always had more confidence in someone like Geno Smith than he ever had in Russell Wilson?
Right. It's crazy, right?
I mean,
crazy.
It's sick to see. And the Broncos, who we were all talking about, they were supposed to be division winners or play a wild card team. They were supposed to be one of the top teams in the best division in football. I think they're looking at going to be the last place team in the best division in football at this point because they look terrible.
No, Billy, they look really bad. Matt Stafford, if I would have told you, if I would have shown you stats of Matt Stafford this year and showed you that, hey, yes or no, this guy won a Super Bowl last year, you would have laughed at me. Because he looks bad. He looks bad. Seattle looks okay. Arizona looks okay. And the 49ers look okay. But the Rams should be running away with that division, in my opinion. And they look awful.
Absolutely. But we were talking about the Broncos. So
I'm sorry. I thought you said the Rams. Dude, I'm sorry. No. I thought you said the Rams. I'm sorry. No, the Broncos look bad too. The Broncos look bad too. I'm sorry.
The Broncos look lost, and the Broncos are only going to be even in a worse position now with Javonte Williams gone for definitely the season, if not longer, with a torn ACL and LCL and MCL damage. Yeah, he's got a very, very serious leg injury there.
Sure.
And that is one of their best offensive players is now gone.
Yeah. So, and I mean, at least you still got Melvin Gordon there, and Judy came back, and you still got Sutton, but you're taking away a lot from the run game there. A lot of the run game there.
Melvin Gordon has had some fumble problems, and if you look at it, after Javonte Williams left that game, Michael Boone actually played about 70% of the snaps from when Javonte Williams left. So it's going to be real interesting to see. I think it's going to be a committee there with Boone and Gordon. I don't think they're going to look to give Gordon any type of bell cow role at all in that offense. But like I said, things are not getting any easier in Denver. But what about, we know the Giants are going to London this week. What about what went on in London this past week?
You're Minnesota.
What about the double dong to end the game?
Right. Crazy.
I have never seen that happen in my life. And all of a sudden, all you heard was dong, dong, dong. Good day, sir. Dong, dong. I mean, what the hell was going on there? I've never seen this before.
I mean, listen, if you don't believe that Justin Jefferson is one of the clear top 3 wide receivers now in the league, he should have showed you that. And one of the main reasons that they even got close to winning that game. If Justin Jefferson is not on this Minnesota offense, they don't score any touchdowns, in my opinion. They're just so good. Dalvin Cook is not the same Dalvin Cook as he was last year. And Justin Jefferson is he's a monster. He's just a monster.
Justin Jefferson and Cooper Kupp are 1 and 1A. And you could put either one in either spot, and anyone with a brain can't argue that with you. Justin Jefferson is a beast. Dalvin Cook is still a beast. That guy went out there, got himself back on the field this week when I didn't think he had any shot of playing. And they still had Madison. Madison had a touchdown. This Minnesota team is good.
They are good.
I've said it week one, and I'm going to continue to say it. I believe they're going to win that division.
I think so too. Billy, I agree with you. And to be honest with you, Billy, I'm actually a little surprised that the Packers are actually 3-1 right now too, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
I thought they would be 2-2, 1-3 at this point, and Aaron Rodgers is showing that he can still win without Devontae Adams.
I mean, Aaron Rodgers is finding ways to win. I mean, Reggie Dobbs, this kid is looking very good. Mm-hmm. He looks to be turning Reggie Dobbs into Reggie Dobbs is earning the trust of Aaron Rodgers and looking to turn into one of the next great Green Bay receivers. Because between Rodgers and Brett Favre, they've had plenty of them.
Yeah,
and
true.
They help make those guys, and they're doing it right now. And I'm going to give credit where it's due too. Who thought the Saints going in there with Andy Dalton at quarterback were going to keep that game as tight as it was and have a chance to tie it in the last second? I mean, Andy Dalton went out there and played a hell of a football game.
He did.
They look good.
Pretty well.
Chris Olave right now looks like the best rookie wide receiver in the NFL.
He does.
He
looks great.
We have three guys, Olave, Drake London, and Reggie Dobbs. We have three damn good. And Treylon Burks when he gets back, because he just got hurt and he was just starting to catch fire. Yeah. We have some damn good wide receiver in general in the NFL. Is a great thing to watch right now. It is probably the most exciting position to watch. Yeah. And speaking of Drake London and the Falcons, the Falcons play another nail biter for the Falcons. They win 23-20 over Cleveland. Cleveland's another team similar to what I said about the Detroit Lions. They got that fight in them, man. They're in every single game. Jacoby Brissett is keeping them in every single game.
Yeah, he is. And Billy, and I said this in the beginning of the year, if the Cleveland Browns can stay toward the top and you bring back Deshaun Watson, that is going to be a scary football team. I'm telling you, it's going to be a scary football team.
Absolutely. If they have any shot at the playoffs, by the time week 12 rolls around, I like their chances, I'll say.
Yeah.
I like their chances. I mean, bad news in that game, another injury. Cordero Patterson is on the IR now, out for at least 4 weeks.
Yep.
And a running back that I saw in the preseason that I liked, Tyler Algiers taking over there. And I don't know if Tyler Algiers is ever going to lose this job. I mean, Cordero Patterson will have a role on that team, and he has absolutely earned it. But
they drafted him last year for a reason, right? They drafted him this year for a reason.
Yes, Tyler Algier is going to play. And now you're going to see a Falcons offense with 3 exciting young players in Algier, Drake London, and if they ever figure out how the hell to use Kyle Pitts, I mean, my God, Arthur Smith is destroying this kid.
Yeah.
I mean, get him the ball. Put him in the slot. Break him off you got to do something to get this. You didn't draft him to do what you're doing with him. And I don't know what the hell is going on there. Somebody's got to step in and make some changes there.
I agree with you, Billy, for sure. You first of all, you don't draft the tight end number 4 overall last year to not utilize him in this team. He is not getting enough looks. He's not getting enough targets. That he had a decent game last week, but you need to get him more involved in this game. You need to.
He has to have probably the lion's share of targets most weeks.
Agreed.
I mean, and you could get it done. I mean, look, I'll give you a prime example. Look what the Giants did this week. The Giants weak at receiver. We talked about that already. But look at the guys they had making the big plays on those receptions. It was their 2 tight ends.
Yep.
Their tight ends were making great plays. Get your tight ends involved. Kyle Pitts could take over. Everybody out there will tell you, anybody that knows anything about football, if given the opportunity, we will be talking about Kyle Pitts in the same sentence as Travis Kelce, in the same sentence as Mark Andrews and George Kittle. This kid has all the talent to be there. They are just not using him, and I can't figure out why.
Yeah. Yeah, it's something that we don't know behind the scenes, or
no, I think it's just bad game planning. I don't think there's any bullshit involved. I think it's just bad game planning by Arthur Smith, and that's really it. Then the game we thought was the game of the week. It lived up to the hype, Lou. The Bills and the Ravens.
Oof.
And I mean, for all the good we could say about the Baltimore Ravens, and they are a damn good team. They've played 4 games now. 2 of them, they were up 17 plus points in and lost.
Yep.
That's bad.
It's bad.
That is bad for a team that, for as long as we can remember, has always prided themselves on playing good defense.
Right.
A team that had guys like Ed Reed, Ray Lewis, and Terrell Suggs on that defense is now twice in 4 weeks let up 17 plus point leads.
And Billy, it's a little bit of a, I want to say, of a dangerous situation for the Ravens too, because when you have a lead like you did against a Miami offense like they have, and against a Buffalo Bills offense like they have, your defense has got to step up there. This is not a Lamar Jackson thing. This is not an offense thing. This is a strictly defense coordinator defense thing. And the Ravens could be easily 4-0 right now.
Absolutely.
Easily 4-0.
They had both of those games in their hands, and they just let it go defensively. It was just poor execution on the defense, and they got to figure that out.
Yeah.
Because you know what? They could go in the next 2 weeks, and next week against the Giants. Who are they playing this week? Let me tell you right now. I mean, they got to wake up.
I'll tell you right now. They are playing the Bengals on Sunday Night Football.
Yes. You have 2 games right there where I believe, especially the Bengal game, that if they don't wake up, if that defense doesn't play better, they could lose one, if not both of those games.
Yeah.
Because we've seen the Giant offense play a lot better in the second half than they do in the first half. Yeah. So if that defense goes out and collapses in the second half against the Giants, they could be in the same position they're in right now, and it's not good.
No, it's not. And just to add to a takeaway real quick, Billy, if anybody needed to win 2 games in a row going into week 4, it was the Cincinnati Bengals. And the Bengals are now tied for the lead in their division. Yes, they lost to the Cowboys. They lost to the Steelers, but now they beat a decent Jets team, and they beat a good Miami team, even though Tua got hurt, and that was much needed for them. And it definitely needed Joe Burrow for a pickup as well.
Absolutely. I mean, like I said, that team's going to be okay. I mean, I'm not worried about the Bengals.
Well, you think the Ravens are going to win a division, so I still think it's going to be Cincinnati. So that's why I'm kind of glad.
I still have the Bengals will be in the playoffs. I mean, right. Once you get there, it doesn't matter if you got there as a division champ or a wild card. It matters that you're there, and I believe that they will be there and they will be just fine. Mm-hmm. But the offensive line, that's really what it is in Cincinnati. It's kind of one-fold. The offensive line has to play better. And when the offensive line plays better, it will elevate everything around it. It will give Mixon lanes and time to run. It'll give Burrow time to throw the ball, which will bring up his receivers, his tight ends, and everything else. I'm not worried about them at all. Then another team, like I said, we talked about it a little, get into it more now. Dallas beats Washington 25-10. Washington started out this year where it was like, the Commanders might surprise us. We might, get a little something out of these people here. Nah, Carson Wentz is back to playing Carson Wentz football. Right. And it's not very good. They lose faith by the carry in Antonio Gibson. And there's also a rumor, which as a human being and a football fan, I would be thrilled to see. They are saying that there's a possibility that Brian Robinson may play this week. And for that kid after getting shot twice to make it back on the field, that would be nothing short of incredible.
And especially since they lost Dobson too. They just lost him. He's on the injured list now.
Yep, Dobson's going to be out a little while. But if Brian Robinson as a football player, as a person, for him to get back would be incredible. And Dallas, they've already made the announcement. Cooper Kush is playing one more game.
Right.
He's back out for one more. Dak is still having issues gripping the football. And the way they've been playing and the way they've been executing, there's no reason to rush him.
No, he's undefeated as the Cowboys starter. Keep him in there.
And, I'm going to repeat myself with this. I don't think the Cowboys need to change the offense they're running when Dak comes back.
Yeah.
I think focusing on the run with getting CeeDee Lamb downfield, I think that's the offense they need to run. They're proving they could do it successfully. Right. I don't see a reason why you change back to what was doing, which, let's be honest, at best, the Dallas offense under Dak is inconsistent at best.
Right.
I think they're running a much more better and balanced offense.
With Cooper Rush.
With the way, it's not just Cooper Rush. It's not Cooper. It's not all Cooper Kush. It's the execution and the play calling as well.
Yeah. No, let's not give McCaffrey, not McCaffrey.
Mike McCarthy.
Mark McCarthy.
No, I will, because you know what? I think right now, in these last 3 games with Cooper Rush, Mike McCarthy has done his best job coaching the Dallas Cowboys since he's gotten here.
Right. All right. I mean,
and I think he gets ripped apart by everybody. I think it's time to give him some of the credit that he deserves to, because he is just as big as part of this as everyone else.
Wait, the real Cooper will kill it this week, meaning like he'll do really well or he'll do really poorly?
I think he means that Cooper Manning's going to have another BetMGM commercial. With the, I think that's what he's talking about.
That's what he's talking about, right?
Who the hell knows? Then we had another 2-2 team in the AFC West. The Chargers beating up on the Texans 34-24. The Texans, they're interesting, man. I don't know what to make of them.
Billy, they just, not to interrupt you, but they always find a way to make themselves relevant in a game, no matter who they play.
Yep.
Like they were down 21-0. They 21-0. They came back to 21-14. Then it was 27-24. And then no matter what team they play, they're always relevant. They just don't win.
Yeah. No, I mean, they are not a doormat. That's one thing I will say.
But the record looks like they are.
Yeah, but they don't play games like a doormat. Their record's a doormat in the division. They don't play games like a doormat. They go out there and fight. And this week we finally saw, speaking of the rookies, we've been talking a lot about rookies tonight. Damien Pierce. They finally let that kid go out and ball, and he did it.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, that kid's got to get 15 to 20 touches minimum every game the rest of this season. No questions asked. And again, this is a team that's going to keep building, and I think they're going to keep getting better.
Yeah.
They're not going to be a playoff team this year. They're not going to be fighting for a playoff spot. But again, they're in every single game, and that means a team is playing with heart, and they're improving.
Is David Mills the future for the Houston Texans? Probably not.
I don't think so.
No.
But I believe he's better than we thought he was. I believe he will be an excellent backup on a good team eventually in this league, whether it's a good Houston team or somewhere else.
Right.
But I think we'll see Houston at the top half of the NFL draft, drafting the guy they think is going to be their quarterback of the future this coming year.
Right. Right. Yeah, I can agree with you on that.
And
for sure.
The Chargers, man, the Chargers are good. I mean, they went out, they won the game. They're getting Keenan Allen back this week, I believe, which Keenan Allen makes every team better. But, I mean, we finally saw solid play out of Austin Eckler this week.
Was that not one of my picks this week?
Yes, it was.
And what was my other pick? TJ TJ Henderson in Detroit had killer games this week.
Hawkinson, yeah.
Hawkinson, sorry.
He was the only guy active to catch the ball. You really went out. You went out on a limb, a real limb there.
Yeah, okay. So if he's the only guy to catch it, he's still got to catch it though, right? And that means more defense on him, right, Billy?
Yeah. I mean,
right.
Austin Eckler was nothing eye-popping. 13 rushes, 60 yards, 2 touchdowns. But it was good to see Austin Eckler back in the end zone. And this Charger team is going to be dangerous. I mean, unfortunately, Joey Bosa's hurt again. Yep. That's a big blow for them. Hopefully they do get him back. But, I mean, that's a team. They're going to be at the top of that division. We already know they're better than the Raiders. They're better than the Broncos. That's for damn sure. I mean, it's that division's going to be a dogfight all year.
Yep.
All year.
Yep.
And another team, Lou, that starting to wake up after a slow start, the Titans.
Yep.
The Titans beat the Colts 24-17. To me, the Colts are starting to do. I mean, they went out there and beat the Chiefs last week. I still have no words for what went on there. But, right. I mean, the Colts just aren't that good.
No.
They're not. I mean, Jonathan Taylor's been a disappointment. I mean, Derrick Henry went out there to me and showed him who the real king of the NFL is as far as running backs go, rushing 22 times for 114 yards and a touchdown. I mean, that's what I saw in that game.
Yeah,
I mean,
for sure.
Matt Ryan looks a lot like Carson Wentz last year. It's time.
Well, here's the thing, Billy. Here's the thing, though, with that Indianapolis team. Your last 3 starting quarterbacks, Phillip Rivers, Carson Wentz, Matt Ryan. All people past their prime who are not great quarterbacks anymore.
And you know what the sad thing is? The oldest one got them the furthest.
Right.
Rivers.
Phillip Rivers.
Yep. I mean,
while he was having his 10th kid.
I just feel like, and it's crazy, because to me, Chris Pollard and Frank Reich are one of the best 1-2 combos in football. Great coach, great GM, great football minds. I feel like they think this team is better than it is. Yeah. They keep viewing this team as win now. So let me bring in the veteran. I'm not going to invest in the kid.
Right.
And the veterans aren't doing it for him. The quarterback, to me, we're now in the second year of the quarterback being one of the main reasons that this team is going to lose.
Yep.
And that's what I don't get what they're looking at. And to me, the best thing that would happen to them at this point is to keep losing so they're at the top of the draft and they're forced to look to a young quarterback and try to get something done there. What I would like to see in Indianapolis, what I think the perfect model for Indianapolis is after this season, is to draft a quarterback and sign Jimmy Garoppolo.
You think so?
Give Jimmy Garoppolo a 2-year deal while you're developing a quarterback, and that's the best way for them to go.
I'm not disappointed, but listen, if Jimmy G has won his last 2 games as a San Francisco 49er, we might see Jimmy G in a fucking 49ers uniform next year.
That's done. That's not happening.
Yeah, we'll see how Trey Lance recovers.
I don't know. I put it this way. I don't know if Jimmy will go back, but I'm telling you, the Colts like going this way. Here's the way to try to be competitive while developing your quarterback for the future, which is what they've been trying to do for the last 3 years, but they still haven't drafted the quarterback in the future. They've been trying to stay competitive. Jimmy Garoppolo in that offense, while helping develop the guy, give him 2 years. I think that makes the Colts a better team. That's my call on it. That's how I see it. They need a proven winner in there. Matt Ryan, nothing against Matt Ryan, class racket of the NFL. Matt Ryan is not a proven winner.
No.
Carson Wentz wasn't a proven winner.
No.
Remember, Carson Wentz didn't finish the Super Bowl. Nick Foles did.
He did.
I mean, they're not Phillip Rivers, to me, is a winner, even though he didn't win a Super Bowl. There are guys that can be proven winners and have proven track records. Matt Ryan has a bit of a proven track record, but he's not in the class of Phillip Rivers. I'm sorry.
No.
But I just don't get it. I don't get what they're trying to do there. I think they are good, the Colts, but I don't think they're as good as they think they are. And
on paper, right? On paper, Mike Pittman Jr. and Jonathan Taylor as one of your top wide receivers and running backs.
They have weapons,
right?
But all around, they're not there. Matt Ryan is not making the Colts any better than Carson Wentz did, and it's proven already. We're already seeing it. We're seeing it now very quickly that he's no better than Carson Wentz. This team is no better now than they were at this point last year.
Right.
Carson Wentz, actually, the first 2 games of the Commanders showed flashes of being better than Matt Ryan.
Right.
At this stage. And, I'll tell you what, one team that doesn't miss Carson Wentz is the Philadelphia Eagles, who right now look like the best team in football after coming back from being down 14-0 and taking control of that game and beating the Jaguars 29-21.
Right. Yeah, no, I was surprised. Jacksonville is looking a lot better this year than they were last year, and I got to give Kristen Kirk a lot of credit. I thought Kristen Kirk was going to be a major bust. He's having a hell of a year so far. He's doing great.
No, they were good, man. The Jacksonville offense.
They're just young. They're just too young. That's what it comes down to, I think.
It's the improved coaching from Doug Peterson to Urban Meyer. Their defense is getting better. They obviously still have some work to do. Like I said, they had a 14-0 lead early in the first half of this game. They gave it up. They got work to do. Right now, the Philadelphia Eagles, they got to be number 1 in everybody's power rankings, or you're just kidding yourself. Yeah. And there's not much more to say. Go quick. The Cardinals and the Panthers, 26-16. The Cardinals, I don't know what to make of them. I don't know if they know what to make of themselves. The Panthers they're a bad football team. They need to use Christian McCaffrey more. I feel like they're scared to use Christian McCaffrey more. I feel like they're scared to give him any more carries than they already have. I just don't get what goes on there. And I think Matt Rule already has 1 foot out the door. Everybody's talking Arizona State. Now, Matt Rule's going to be back in college next year, probably with Arizona State taking Herm Edwards' job. But he's not long for the NFL. They're going to blow up that Carolina Panthers team. They're going to have a lot of money next year. Baker's going to be gone. Sam Darnold's going to be gone. They're going to start all over. And they're going to be another team at the top of that draft looking for a quarterback.
Agreed. Yeah, Billy, they look bad. They just don't look good at all.
And the Packers squeaking it out against a third-string quarterback of the Patriots. I didn't think the Patriots had a shot with Brian Hoyer. When I saw Brian Hoyer go down on the third play of the game, I think it was, I never thought this was going to be, I thought this was going to be bad.
Yeah.
I thought this was going to be real bad.
Well, the spread was 10.5, Billy. I would think so too. I was expecting it to be more, and the fact that it went to overtime, that's Bill Belichick right there. That's a Bill Belichick thing right there. And then and then obviously the Chiefs came out smoking. That wasn't even a game, even though the Bucs started to score. That game was 21-3 by the half. That the Chiefs showing, Pat Mahomes showing that they don't need Tyreek Hill to win football games. They just don't. When you have Patrick Mahomes, he's like Aaron Rodgers. He just makes everyone better. He makes everybody better.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers went out there, did what Aaron Rodgers does. The Patriots hung tight in there. They fought. But, I don't know how much fight is in the Patriots anymore. I think you're going to see a lot of games like this season for the Patriots. And who knows? Maybe they're looking for a quarterback again after this year. There's going to be a lot of quarterback talk around this league because I said it last week. I'm going to say it again. I think this is it for Belichick.
You really think so?
Yes, I do. I think he is going to go. I think this year he's going to step down after this. I think it's a big reason He didn't name an offensive coordinator. He's got his guys there. I think he gave it one more shot. And I think this is where he rides off. Bill Belichick is not going to go through a rebuild, and this team needs one. He's 73 years old. It's time.
Yeah, I agree. Over 20 years coaching the same team, I think is good. It's good enough. I think it's okay.
Absolutely. And then Sunday night we had the Chiefs and the Bucks. It wasn't as close as the score was.
No, I literally said that. I literally just said that. I said the Chiefs won that game after it was 21-3.
Yeah, the Chiefs are a better team. To me, Tampa Bay looks very old. Mm-hmm. The best thing I saw out of Tampa Bay, honestly, was when they brought in Rachaad White, because he brings that burst of youthful energy, and that's what that team needs more of. They remind me of what people used to say about the Yankees, bringing in the old guys. Oh, let's bring in Jose Canseco past his prime, and let's bring in Ruben Sierra, and let's try to get a good run out of those guys. And sometimes you get lucky, which the Yankees did. The Yankees got good runs out of Raul Ibanez, out of Ruben Sierra, but I don't know what the Tampa Bay Bucks are going to get out of Julio Jones. And guys, I don't know what you're doing.
Tom Brady's
starting to look old. And things aren't getting any easier for Tom Brady. Everything's going around today that him and Giselle are both they're hiring divorce lawyers.
Right. Yeah, Tom Brady's definitely going through a lot right now.
And I know Tom Brady's Tom Brady. He's the best to ever do it. There's no question about it. But you can't tell me, with this getting out and this being out there now, that it will not be weighing on him on the field.
Sure.
And it's gonna be rough. And I don't know how it's gonna go. I mean, for the first time ever, I can really say I'm doubting a Tom Brady-led team.
Wow.
I'm doubting they can do it.
I mean, but their division is bad. Their division is bad, though. Like, they'll make the playoffs, but they're not, in my opinion, they're not going far in the playoffs if they continue to play.
I can see them being a one-and-done wildcard team. Real easy.
Yep.
And then, Lou, the last game of Week 4 last night, the Rams are bad.
Rams look bad.
There's not much more I can say than the Rams look bad.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the one thing the Rams were last year in their run to the Super Bowl, the Rams were a fast team. They played faster offense than everybody else. Last night, the 49ers played faster offense than them. Deebo Samuel, Jeff Wilson Jr., they were faster than the Rams. And, I mean, Matt Stafford looked like he was back in a Lions uniform. I mean, Allen Robinson looks lost. He looks like, did they give him a playbook? He looks like
Allen Robinson looks lost. Matt Stafford looks lost.
They both do.
Yeah.
Robinson doesn't look any better. I mean, look at last year when Odell Beckham went in there in the middle of the season and how quick he clicked with that offense. Mm-hmm. And now all of a sudden, Allen Robinson, who was supposed to be the replacement for Odell Beckham Jr., with a full offseason, can't get this offense.
No, he looks bad.
Something with that team in its entirety is off. Every aspect, except maybe Aaron Donald, is off. The most aggressive play made by the Rams last night was when Bobby Wagner laid out the idiot who what was he doing? A gender reveal running on the field with pink smoke?
Right.
Was he protesting the torture of cows? Or so I don't know what he was doing. And
sure.
That was the best thing about the Rams last night, was when Bobby Wagner did that. And I love that the Manning cast showed it.
Yeah, of course.
Because more people should show that. I'm sorry.
I agree. I agree.
Dummy wants to run on the field. I know you don't want to give him his 10 seconds of fame, but the fans were probably excited at that point in what was a crap game by the Rams to see this idiot get laid out by Bobby Wagner.
By Bobby Wagner.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We're going to go right now into our player of the week. You go first. You tell me, Who was your player of the week for week 4?
Billy, I mean, there was a few people I had to say were my player of the week. But I'm gonna actually go with Austin Eckler on this one, and the only reason why is he scored 3 total touchdowns. He's been irrelevant He's basically been irrelevant the first 3 weeks of football. And the Chargers needed a big win. They needed a win against a not good Houston Texans team. Austin Eckler, like you said, only 64 yards, but 3 total touchdowns, shows he's still relevant in the league. Probably had the most fantasy points at almost anybody this week. I have to go with Austin Eckler for the San Diego Chargers.
Nice. All right. I'm going with a running back. I'm going with the guy that for the first 4 weeks has been the best running back in the NFL.
Shaquan Barkley.
I am going with Shaquan Barkley of our New York Giants.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he did it again this week. That guy went out there, beast mode, 31 carries, 146 yards, Wildcat quarterbacking out there. I mean, Saquon did it all this week, and he deserves to be not only my player of the week, but he deserves another NFL Offensive Player of the Week award too. I'm sorry.
No, I agree.
Now, from the good to the bad, give us Lou's letdown of the week.
Billy, my letdown of the week is the team that played the New York Jets. Pittsburgh Steelers. Bros, what are we doing? What are we doing? You had an amazing game against the Cincinnati Bengals that first week. You had potential. You showed that Mitch Trubisky could possibly be a starting number 1. And what happened this week? You played against Zach Wilson and the Jets, who have been struggling this year. Zach Wilson comes back his first game back, and you allow him to score on you on the last drive of the game to lose the game. And not only that, you kicked me out of my freaking fantasy football, my pick'em pool, because I had you guys beating the Jets at home. You lost to the Jets at home. Mike Tomlin, what is going on with your freaking Pittsburgh Steelers, bro? What? And then on top of that, you put in Kenny Pickett, and he gives up two interceptions and has 1 running touchdown. Like, pick it up, guys. You're supposed to be better than this. You got rid of the jello arm Ben Roethlisberger to improve, and you still have really good players, but you are 2-2 and you lost to the Jets. Unacceptable. You guys let me down. You knocked me out of my pool. Go fuck yourselves.
All right, and that will get us through Lou's ranting wine of the week. Thank you. And now I'm going to go to my bold prediction. And my bold prediction for this week is real simple. After what I saw last night, the Los Angeles Rams will not be in the playoffs this year.
Oh, Billy.
Yes. That's how bad they look. I'm sorry. I mean, how many teams look better than them? What more? The Seahawks look better than them right now.
They do.
And that's a fact. Geno Smith, through 4 games, looks better than Matt Stafford. There's no question about it. The 49ers, we saw clearly last night, can handle them. That's 2 teams in their division right there.
Right.
It's two teams
but
in there.
I wouldn't, and sorry to interrupt. I know this is your bold prediction, but I wouldn't give up on them just yet. It's only game 4.
Well,
it's only game 4.
You want to go with bold predictions. You go out there. You don't go with the easy ones. You get bold. They're bold for a reason.
Okay, fair.
And my reasoning being is if they don't wake up right, like now, if they don't go out there and put a shellacking on the Cowboys this weekend, which with the Cowboys defense and the way their offense plays, I don't see that happening either. Okay, they're not going to be a playoff team.
Okay, fair.
And that's going to take us right in. It's WTF time. I'm going to go first with mine.
Okay.
Now, you give me crap every week about the Detroit Lions.
I do.
I have to be objective here.
Sure.
My WTF is going to Aaron Glenn, the defensive coordinator of those Detroit Lions. How do you give up 48 points to Geno Smith? Geno friggin' Smith.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what were you doing? This guy couldn't even stay as the backup quarterback on any team that he was on. And then he comes in here, and now all of a sudden he's behind Russ for a few years, and he looks better than Russ. I don't know how this happened, but Aaron Glenn, you have to be better. I hope Dan Campbell is in every defensive meeting this week, lighting a fire under not only the players, but the coaches too, because they all need to be better. Everybody on the Detroit defensive side of the ball needs to be better, and it needs to start now because your offense is there. Your offense is executing. Your offense went out without its two best offensive players, Amon-Ra St. Brown and DeAndre Swift, and scored 45 points. It is inexcusable that you don't win a game when that happens. So you need to take your heads out of your ass and play NFL caliber defense this week.
Right, and Billy doesn't want to owe me dinner either. So make sure, you guys step up, all right? Because the Cardinals are currently in a tie for the playoffs right now. So that's all I'm saying. My WTF is going to be a little bit different. Listen, Chicago, let me talk to you guys real quick. Come here, let me have a seat. Let's talk real quick, Chicago. Justin Fields, bro, you had some good plays against the Giants. I'll give you a little bit of credit there. But guys, something needs to change in Chicago. You guys didn't score against a Giants defense that's been struggling in the secondary this year. You had 4 field goals. Couldn't even get into the end zone. You haven't been utilizing Michael Mooney at all this year. Yeah, you lost David Montgomery. I understand that. But you have a great backup in Herbert, right? You have a great backup in him. You guys are not utilizing the players that you need to on this Chicago Bears offense. And Justin Fields, you look like a 2 out of 10 version of Patrick Mahomes. You run the football around, you scramble around a lot, but you just don't look like a good football player, bro. Something needs to change in Chicago if they want to be relevant, because right now Justin Fields doesn't look like the answer in Chicago. And it's just like, what the fuck? Like, you're supposed to be better. You were supposed to be better last year too. You used Michael Mooney. He averaged over 100 yards his last 7 games of the season. He's had 8 receptions in 4 games. What is going on in Chicago? What the fuck?
Absolutely. And to me, that has a lot to do with coaching too.
Right.
And that is a big thing. But I mean, I didn't want to interrupt you during, but his name is Darnell Mooney.
Darnell Mooney. Sorry. Michael Mooney's a bowler that bowls on at Jib.
Right. And let's get into our week 5 picks now, Lou. Let's start it off. Thursday night football. The 1-2 Indianapolis Colts at the Denver Broncos. I mean, do we have to pick a winner in this game?
They're both bad teams, but they're playing in Denver. I got to go with Denver.
Could it be a 0-0 tie, perhaps?
It might be a 6-6 game. I can see 6-6.
I'm gonna go with Denver too, because we do have to pick a winner here. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then we go into London. We're back in London with our New York Giants taking on the Green Bay Packers.
Billy. I'm going to say it. Giants are going to win. They're going to beat the Packers in London, Billy. Especially if Daniel Jones plays. I don't think this Green Bay secondary is that good. I like our corners against Aaron Rodgers. I think we're going to be rushing Aaron Rodgers a lot. I liked Giants winning by 3.
You know what? I'm going to go with the Giants as well. I mean, if the New England Patriots could go in there and almost take them down with their 3rd string quarterback, why not us?
Why not us? I agree.
Why not? We're a better team than the Patriots. Why not us? We're going to Giants. It's a family pick. Giants over the Packers. Let's go.
Fuck you, Aaron Rodgers. Okay.
Then we have the Steelers at the Buffalo Bills.
Billy, if the Steelers have the same defensive coordination they had against the Jets, and especially since the Bills almost lost to the Ravens, this might be a 41-3 game in favor of the Bills, and they're playing in Buffalo. The Bills are going to absolutely destroy this team.
Lou, the Steelers could bring back James Harrison and Rod Woodson in their prime, and they'd still lose to the Bills this Sunday.
Right, I agree.
There's no question there. Like, let's be serious.
Right.
Then we move on. The Chargers at the Browns.
Keenan Allen comes back, Chargers. Keenan Allen sits out, Browns.
I'm going with the Chargers either way. I think the Chargers are the better team.
I'm gonna say I agree with you, but I'm gonna go on a limb. I'm gonna say the Browns win this.
No, I'm gonna go with the Chargers, and I mean I believe it'll be a good game. I don't think the Chargers are gonna run away with it, but I think the Chargers are gonna win.
Okay. Next game goes to Texans versus Jaguars. Who do you like there, Billy?
The Jaguars. The Jaguars they're playing good football, especially offensively. The defense is getting better every week. They hit a couple of bumps against the Eagles last week, but everybody's hit bumps against the Eagles because their offense is that damn good. So,
Right.
But I'm going with the Jaguars.
All right, fair enough. I'm going to go with the Jaguars as well. Texans might make it close. Listen, if this is a 6.5, 7-point spread, I like Houston, but I think Jaguars will take the victory.
Absolutely. I feel like anything over a field goal, you might want to take Houston. To be honest, from a gambling standpoint.
Right, I agree. Yeah, no, but I like the Jaguars overall. Bears 2-2 against the Vikings 3-1 at home. Who do you like there, Billy?
Vikings, not even a question.
Yeah, Vikings it's not even going to be close.
Yeah, there's not even much to talk about that. Then we have the Lions at the Patriots.
Billy, you know what, Billy? You turned me into a believer. I like the Lions. They're scoring a ton of offense against a not great secondary. I like the Lions.
You know where I'm going with this.
And no Mac Jones, I like it.
No Mac Jones, no Brian Hoyer probably. Detroit, let's go.
Right. Seattle against the Saints at home. Who do you like there, Billy?
This is a tough one. I mean,
stop it.
I'm going to go with the Saints.
Billy, I'm a Geno Smith believer right now, Billy. I'm going with the Seahawks. I think the Seahawks are going to take this team down.
I mean, after what I saw of the Saints, the fight in the Saints in London with Minnesota, I'm not going to doubt them, especially going home now. I like the Saints.
All right, and this goes to Dolphins against the Jets at home. Billy.
I made my pick on this already. I'm sticking with it. I'm going with the Jets.
Billy, I'm gonna go with the Dolphins on this one.
Okay.
I like Teddy Bridgewater coming off the bench here. Yep. I like it.
I'm gonna go with Zach. Zach's coming home for the New York Mamas to see him for the first time this year.
Right, and then he's gonna bang my mom afterwards.
They want to see that. The moms want to see the giddy. That's what it's all about.
God, Billy, you're so old. It's called the gritty.
Gritty, yeah.
The gritty. Come on, Billy. Get with the times. God.
My apologies. My apologies.
Let's go. The Falcons against the Buccaneers at home.
Falcons and the Bucks. I'm going with the Bucks.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with the Bucks too. Falcons look good, but no Cordell Patterson at home against probably a very angry Tom Brady. I'm going to go with the Bucks.
I will say this. I'm going with the Bucks. I will not be here shocked next week if the Falcons beat them, though.
I agree with that.
Next, we got the Titans at the Commanders.
Billy, Titans are going to be going on a 3-game win streak against this team. Derrick Henry is back. Ryan Tannehill looks good. The Titans defense is up against a bad Carson Wentz with only one of his wide receivers. Titans win this game by at least 7.
Absolutely. I'm with you all the way on that, Titans. Let's go. Nothing else left to say on that one. 49ers at the Panthers. This should be another real quick one.
49ers. Panthers look awful. Don't care about Christian McCaffrey. Doesn't matter. Deebo Samuel is better.
49ers all the way.
Not even close. No. Eagles away against the Cardinals at home. Who do you like there, Billy?
I'm going with the Eagles to go 5-0.
Yeah, I hate to say it. Eagles look legit. Eagles are legit.
Hey, I am a Giant fan. I will never root for the Eagles, but I have to be objective here. And the Eagles are playing damn good football, and they're a better team right now than the Cardinals. So, yeah, it's going to be the Eagles going 5-0.
Yeah, the Eagles will be the superior bird on that game. Billy, Cowboys at the Rams at home, and I already know what you're going to pick. You're picking the Rams. I mean, you're picking the Cowboys.
No.
You're going with the Rams?
I think the Rams can win this. I think it's going to be close, and I don't think it's going to be close in a good way. I think it's going to be sloppy.
Right.
I think the Rams have to figure out a way to get through this tough Cowboy defense, but I think they got something in them. The Rams, they're not going to be terrible. I just don't know how good they're going to be because they haven't done anything to show us that they're going to be good.
Yeah. I think listen, I think this is the end of the era for Cooper Rush and winning as a starting quarterback. I think the Rams have something to prove. They're 2-2. They weren't expected to be 2-2. You know, Matt Stafford hasn't had the best of years so far. I'm gonna go with the Rams on this one. Billy, this brings us to our Sunday night football game. In my opinion, the game of the week: the Bengals versus the Ravens at home. Billy, who do you like here?
I got to go with the Bengals.
Okay. Why Bengals?
I just feel they're getting better each week. And after watching what happened with this Ravens defense, when they're playing a good team, until they prove me wrong, I have to doubt them.
Okay, fair. Yeah, Billy, I kind of like the Bengals this week too. I think it's going to be a close Sunday night football game, but I think the Bengals are going to win too. I think the Bengals go 3-2, and I think this is going to be a good game. It's going to be a very good game, but I think the Bengals pull it off.
Absolutely. Like I said, I mean, it's not going to shock me if the Ravens win. The Ravens are a good football team. The Ravens are having issues on defense. I can't say it enough. Until they figure those out, it is hard for me to take them over a team with as good an offense as the Bengals have.
Sure. I agreed. And Billy, this goes to our Monday night football game. The Las Vegas Raiders against the Kansas City Chiefs. Who do you like here, Billy?
Until I am proven different, I will not pick anyone that goes into Kansas City in prime time to win. I'm going with the Chiefs.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Chiefs too. Raiders have started off at a slow start. I didn't expect them to be 1-3. I could have said 2-2 or even 3-1. Slow start. They will be 1-4 after Monday Night Football.
They're playing some damn tough games, Lou. I mean, it's got to be. They're out there. They're playing good teams. They're in a tough division.
They are.
I mean, it can happen to anyone in that division, and that's the thing. That's the thing people forget. Like that division's got to play everybody.
Yep, very true. And honestly, the worst team the worst team in that division right now looks like the Denver Broncos, and it's at least Las Vegas is scoring. Denver's not even scoring. It's bad.
No,
it's bad.
I mean, I don't know what's going on there. Nathaniel Hackett looks completely overmatched as a head coach. He looks like he was not ready. And I mean, between him, what's going on in Miami, I think you might see a lot more veteran head coaches getting jobs going forward, starting with this offseason. Because I think you might see that these guys, they're all out there. Everybody wants to find the thing is to find the next Sean McVay. That's what they all want. But you know what? A lot of these guys are not ready. You know, there's guys out there like Ben McAdoo. There might have been a day where Ben McAdoo could have been a damn good head coach. He needed more experience. The Giants gave him the job after Coughlin because they didn't want someone else to give it. They didn't want someone else to take him. The Giants didn't really want Ben McAdoo to be there. They didn't think he was ready. They felt like they had to keep him in the organization because they were convinced he was good for the organization.
And now where is he?
He was not. He's Baker Mayfield's offensive coordinator.
Right, exactly. Right. And how are they doing?
But that's what I mean. This guy's coaching career pretty much got destroyed because he was given a job he was not ready for.
Right.
I mean, you look at it right now. There's a lot of coaches you could say this about. I'm still not convinced Rob Saleh is ready to be a head coach.
Right.
I'm not convinced. There's a lot of guys. Josh McDaniels got lucky. He went to Denver, knew he wasn't ready, was proved totally overmatched, left Denver, went back to the Patriots, stayed there longer than he may have even had to, but he wanted to really make sure he was ready. And until he now took the Raiders job. Very, very few times, especially at that young age, do you ever make it back.
Oh, very true.
I think you're going to start seeing a lot more of the veteran coaches making a comeback in the NFL due to this next year.
Yeah, I could see it. I agree with you. Especially after the whole thing with Tua too, right? Like,
That's what I'm saying. You need better decision makers, guys with track records, guys that can stand there and say, hey, yeah, I made the decision not to. No, you're not going back out there. I don't care what this one says, what that one says.
Sure.
Rob Saleh and the Jets, that coaching staff gets ripped apart every week. That coaching staff, even this week in a win, the coaching staff looked bad.
Yeah, agreed.
I mean, that's what it is. I mean, they need to make sure. I get wanting the next genius, the next great offensive line. They need to make sure these guys are ready.
Yeah.
And they're not. And you know what? This guy will be back in the NFL next year. I don't know if it's going to be with the Jets. I don't know where it's going to be. But I will be very surprised if Sean Payton is not back in the NFL somewhere. Because I got news for you. It very well might not be the Jets. Because anyone that doesn't give Sean Payton the pick of the job openings that are out there is out of their minds.
Right. I agree.
What if how about this? What if Sean Payton replaces Belichick in New England?
Oh my God.
How about that?
That'd be crazy. That would be absolutely insane. Absolutely insane.
Do you think for a second that Robert Kraft is going to give a rookie, no experience head coach the job of succeeding Belichick?
No.
Are you out of your freaking mind? Never gonna happen.
Never. Nope. Oh, Braves officially win the NL East.
See you Friday night, Met fans.
Met fans, see you on Friday night.
That's all I can say. Guys, that is a wrap on our show tonight. Thank you all for tuning in. Make sure subscribe to the YouTube channel, like the Facebook group. We will be putting out a ton more content. Lou and I will see you Monday for some baseball postseason pregame at 6 p.m. before the start of the Yankees' first game in the divisional round.
Which will probably be the Cleveland Guardians.
That's what I think. We will see you guys Monday. We will be back here next Tuesday to wrap up Week 5 in the NFL. Guys, enjoy your football. Enjoy your playoff baseball. Have a good one. Thank you and good night. Billy and Lou out.
Out of here. Thanks, guys.